Ho, 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 and welcome to my NFL week number 17 picks. Now, the lighting today is going absolutely nuts. The sun is shining here in Australia. It is Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you all. Have a great time with your family. But let's get into the NFL week 17 tips starting tomorrow with Boxing Day. First up, it's my Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this game is in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's form fairly recently starting to drop off just a little bit on the competitiveness that we've seen this season, and some blowout sort of score in some of those games, which would be disappointing for them. Still have a very good defense against a Kansas City side that is playing better than they probably were 3 weeks ago. Coming into this time is when you start to see them shine. This is definitely a danger game, and the Chiefs are a small risk of losing the 1 seed, but look to be in a position to win it with this game. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win this game. I had a little think about, can the Steelers turn up for this one, but I just think the Chiefs are going to get it done. I thought they played really well last week. So Kansas City to win by 4 points. Also on Boxing Day, back-to-back games on Netflix. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This game is in Houston, and I think they're going to give the Ravens a bit of a shake-up in this game. But overall, the Texans just have injuries this season that are going to affect them in the sort of long run as we come into these playoffs. And for that reason, the Baltimore Ravens and their offense is very hard to stop. So I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win this game by 8 points. And Lamar Jackson is still a small chance of winning the MVP. Next up is the Chicago Bears taking on the Seattle Seahawks at Chicago. And I think here that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win by 15 points. They only got a close loss against the Vikings. They were close to win that game. If they start here on the road, they should be way too good for a Chicago team that is, yes, due a win, but they're just absolutely, I've got no words for them this year and how much they've dropped off. And Caleb Williams as well, at the start of the year, looked really good. And just now, it's like, oh. It is the Patriots taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the Chargers, this is a very important game for them. Win this game and they clinch a playoff scenario. A great win against the Denver Broncos. A comeback win as well. They were down by 11 points. So on the road here, the mentality is going to be different, but very good position here. Now, the Patriots, they led the Bills majority of that game, but it was the Bills who snatched the win by 3 points. Will the Patriots sort of shake up the playoffs and beat the Chargers here? I don't think so. I think the Chargers are going to win and win well. I think Harbaugh is going to have them fired up to win this game. So I'm going to go with the LA Chargers to win by 15 points because I just see them firing for this. Next up, tough one to pick. It is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Denver Broncos. And in this game, Denver, I think they've gone back-to-back losses actually recently. They could have just been last week, but I don't have the stats here with me. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they're sort of, if they win out and other teams lose, they can still be there in the playoffs, cause some damage. There are issues with them this season, but they're still playing fairly well. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, usual suspects playing good. Need to get their defense right. It's been better in the last couple of weeks, in my opinion. As for this game, I am going to go with the Bengals here. I've been high on the Broncos all year, but I tell you what, they are a massive chance of missing the playoffs because I think they really blew their opportunity with that loss to the LA Chargers last week. I'm going to go with the Bengals to win and win well here. I'm going to go the Bengals by 9. I think their offense is really starting to fire at the right time. And although I think Denver are a very good team, I think Cincinnati, they are at home, are going to beat them. Next up, it is a NFC rivalry game the division game between the Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. This will be an interesting game because the Rams have been playing fairly well. They started very poorly this week, and the Arizona Cardinals, they blew it. No playoffs for them. It's all gone. It ended against the Carolina Panthers. James Conner had a big game in that one. As this game, I think they do get competitive. The Arizona Cardinals try to end the Rams sort of season, but the Rams firing on all cylinders at the moment. A nice win against the Bills a couple weeks ago. Back at home in LA. I think they win. I do think this will be close though. I'm going to go the LA Rams to win by 5. Next up, it is the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. And for this game, I think Buffalo will be very disappointed with a 3-point win last week against New England. As for the Jets, they've been playing better, but still not amazing football. I am going to go with the Bills to respond here. I could see the Bills putting on a big score, but I've done that a few times this year, and I just don't trust that. So I'm going to go with the Bills by 11. I think 11's a sort of comfortable margin. I think they should be too good for the Jets, whose season was over weeks ago, whereas the Bills still could be playing for a number one seed. Next up, it is the it is the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans. Now, we saw this matchup a couple of weeks ago, and it was the Jags who got the win, like a 10-6 scoreline. Awful game. Tennessee haven't looked great lately. Jacksonville have looked good in patches, but lost the other day against the Raiders out of all teams. As for this game, I'm going to go Tony Pollard and the crew, the Tennessee Titans. They got rid of Will Levis as well. So, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to get this win, even though it is on the road. I'm going Tennessee to win this one by 6. Next up, it is the New Orleans Saints taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Saints have gone really, really bad lately, whereas the Raiders have one win from their past 10. They finally win a game. Is that the momentum they need? An injury-ridden team. And the Saints coming off scoring no points against the Packers. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go the Saints here. I think they bounce back. I think they have to bounce back. This is a team that's really struggled and has to show something this season compared to their first 2 weeks. I'm going to go the Saints by 8. I think they can get over the top of the Raiders and win this game quite well. Next up, it is the New York Giants taking on the Indianapolis Colts. And for this game, I think the Colts are in a position to make the playoffs. They want to. They'll be winning this game by a big margin against a Giants team that has struggled, especially on the defensive end. I'm going to go with the Colts to win by 14 points. Next up, in Philly, it is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This is a massive danger game because Jalen Hurts is in doubt for this one. The Eagles are coming off a loss to the Commanders. Not only a loss, I don't blame Jalen Hurts because their defense has been solid. Not even solid, it's been the number one defense this season. They blew a 14-point lead. So there's question marks right now for me over a Philly team that look like massive contenders. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. But the Dallas Cowboys have gone win, win, win. And man, they are building some momentum. They obviously can't make the playoffs this year, but they're trying to shake up the competition. And boy, could they do it here. I am going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles by 5. Not confident in this one at all. I think Dallas are actually a massive chance. And if you can get a Dallas line of 7.5, I would be smashing that line. But I am going to go with the Eagles to bounce back here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will take on the Carolina Panthers, who have been hot and cold, up and down, better at home. Here they are away. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to get this done and get it done well. I'm going to go with Tampa by 13. They need to make the playoff. They're in a position. They just need to win another game, and I think this is the game that they probably clinch their playoff spot. Up it is the Cleveland Browns taking on the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins are humming right now. They have hit some form and a small chance of making the playoff if things can go their way. As for the Cleveland Browns, they just haven't been great this season, and they'll look for this season to be over in just a few short weeks. I'm going to go with the Dolphins by 12. I think a few teams are going to win by bigger margins this week, but you can tell that I'm on that bigger winning side, and I just think Miami are going to win this game. I think they're playing fairly well for the most part, and with Tua back, they look very healthy. Well, this is going to be a cracking game. It is the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers, and the Vikings are looking to secure potentially the number one seed with another Lions loss, as they are now both 13-2, I believe. Green Bay in December are very tough to beat. They always have been. 34-0 shutout against the Saints. It was only the Saints, though. Vikings, sort of a comeback win against the Seahawks there. Who do I pick for this game? Both of these teams are very, very good, and I have more faith in the Vikings than I had probably 5 weeks ago. Even though they were winning, now they're just beating good opposition. I'm going to go with the Packers by 1 point. This game is going to be an absolute thriller. I think Green Bay find a way to get it done. I think their defense is slightly better than the Vikings. The Vikings are a better team at knowing how to win, that mentality, and their Camp Rock celebrations are great, obviously, as well. But I think that Green Bay win by 1 point. The second last game of the week, we'll see the Commanders take on the Falcons. Not much to say for this game here, guys. Obviously, Kirk Cousins not the current quarterback for the Falcons, and for this game, I think the Commanders. Great win against the Eagles. Jaden Daniels will be firing at home once again. I think it might be their last home game of the year. Could be wrong though. So I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders to win by 9 points. And last but certainly not least, the Detroit Lions will head to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, who have been eliminated from playoff contention. The Lions still playing for that number 1 NFC seed and could lock it up potentially if the Vikings lose to the Packers. As for this game, Detroit Lions win this one. They win fairly well for mine. Detroit Lions by 13. Even though they have injuries to Aiden Hutchinson, David Montgomery, I still think that they look like the team to beat this. Well, those are my tips for the NFL this week. Let me know your tips in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys next week.